Good evening. Hi. How are you? I hope you're having a nice Halloween today. I hope you've done your trick or treating for the evening and have a bunch of lovely sweets to munch on tonight. Um, yeah, we had. I think we had like two or three groups of trick or treaters come over, so that's nice. And I've seen a lot of school age children dressed up today. That was also something that cheered me up. Now I was in the hospital today, and one of the nurses had this uh, very quirky costume. She dressed as a whooping cushion. You know, the one where you sit down and it makes a fart noise, so it's used for pranks. Now, I haven't planned to dress up today. Maybe next year, who knows? Or do we need an occasion to dress up? Although it would be nice to have that for for Halloween. I think people also dress up. At least I remember that from my school years for the carnival. Uh, we always dressed up as children. I remember my first carnival in elementary school. You know, a lot of girls wanted to be. This is going to sound bad now. I realized that a lot of girls wanted to be, like cute things. My friend dressed as a bee, and some dressed as princesses. And yeah, I also thought my idea was cool, and I still stick to it. So as a 7-year-old, I decided I want to dress as a gypsy. I want to be a gypsy lady. No idea where it came from. I it just came to me, I suppose. Um, not even the part about predicting your future and stuff. No, just a gypsy lady, because I thought they had pretty dresses. So I'll put on the music from the game now, just for something to play in the background. I know in the past I used to use what was it called? Some royalty-free playlist. It was on Spotify. Yes, on Spotify. But ever since I just thought, do I really need that? Is this necessary? And I can't be bothered paying for premium, really. So yeah, last time we finished a night, and we finished a quest for D'Angelo, was it? He was a nice fella. I liked how I could pretend to be him, with the voice and all. So he's the Nosferatu detective. Now today I'm thinking. I'm not too sure if we're going to do 1 or 2 nights. That depends. But yeah, we have to choose another person. It's hard. I know I want the detective, and I was thinking about the Malkavian girl. But if I need to fight, I would need the blood magician. So I suppose I'll go that route. Although I really want the Malkavian girl. The other girl, no idea. So we'll go that way. So that's night 4. Did I rest? I don't think I did. I think I need to drink blood though. So that's the only thing. Okay. You need to rest. Yes, so I'll rest first. Blood sorcerers. Then we have Malkavian. And then we have Jezebel. Oh, Jezebel's children. Yeah, let's rest for now. I hope I can feed on someone. You notice something strange by the front door of your haven. A letter has been slipped under the door in a cream-colored old-fashioned envelope. There's no name on it, but you know it's meant for you. Open the letter, it's clear it's been sent by someone incredibly old-fashioned, rich, or a fan of classic stationery. No normal person sends letters like this. Ooh. The note is short and terse, written in elegant, delicate handwriting. You're cordially invited to a rendezvous at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. I'll be waiting to make your acquaintance tomorrow night. Look for me closer to God. There's no other information. It looks like you have a mysterious invitation for the following night. Who is that? Meet a mysterious someone at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. Okay, D'Angelo. It's been a while since you heard from D'Angelo. Maybe he's busy sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. Or maybe he pissed off the wrong people and is now rotting in a ditch somewhere. Either way, now's as good a time as any to check up on him. Do I have to go this route? Well, I don't have to accept the invitation, obviously. I'd rather go with D'Angelo. Yeah, I'll go that. Make your way through the now familiar rusty maze of the grain terminal and up the stairs to D'Angelo's office. This time, however, you find the room firmly locked. There's a note pinned to the door. You rip it off and scan the crooked lettering. There's been another one at the scene now. Come to bed, Sty, corner of Pulaski and Garvey, ACP. Looks like D'Angelo could use your help. Better get going. As you approach the address, D'Angelo gave you a squad car passed by you, sirens blaring. Following it, you make a turn from DeKalb Avenue into Pulaski Street. Sure enough, the street is awash with red light and the four or so police cars parked on the nearest corner. Next to an ambulance, confirm that you're in the right place. You move closer to what appears to be New York's finest convention, looking around in the hopes of spotting a familiar, if not altogether pleasant face. No such luck. True to his Nosferatu lineage, D'Angelo is nowhere to be seen. You stop on the sidewalk across the street, trying not to draw attention to yourself. All of a sudden, one of the cops standing by the entrance to the building looks straight at you. That doesn't sound good. I hope he doesn't remember we were there at the other scene previously. He does take a double take and you instinctively look away. Bad move, you think to yourself, as you notice him making his way toward you. I suppose, yeah, if I start running away, that's going to look suspicious. Not allowing panic to set in, you stand your ground, doing your best ordinary citizen impression. The cop waddles across the street towards you, his sense of authority putting an that extra spring in his step. Try to remain calm, even as he puts his hand on his holster. Shit, you can't help but mouth the word. This is about to get messy. Suddenly he stops, as if instinctively realizing that he was just inches away from a grisly demise. He waves at you dismissively and yells in a fake Brooklyn accent. I cannot do a Brooklyn accent. I don't know what it sounds like. Hey, here's an active crime scene. Be on your way. Relieved, but try not to show it. You put it on your grumpy New Yorker face and start to walk away. As you make your way past a dark alleyway, someone grabs you by the arm and pulls you in the shadows. If the smell of cigars and cheap cologne didn't give him away, the gravely voice sure does. Nice save. I mean, dumb to show your face around here in the first place, but still. Come on, I'm parked around the corner. Before you know it, you're sitting in the passenger seat of a bustled old sedan parked half a block away, giving you a nice view of the police gathering. I better feed. We can take them, no sweat, see? There's only 2 of them. That we know of. Might be more inside. I don't know, kid. I can't handle risky, but this seems downright stupid. I need to feed at some point. Let's try maybe another place. Yeah, you're probably right. Better safe than sorry. Let me talk to them? Why don't I talk to them? I might convince them to let us in. He gives you a look as if you're just let a massive fart. Right. Look, kid, it's not that I don't trust you, but how about we give that raw animal magnetism of yours a dry run, huh? Pretend I'm one of the cops guarding the entrance. Convince me to let you in. I'll just use my powers. What do you mean, like speed? This is not very clear of how I want to use the. Maybe I'll pose as a detective. Evening, gents. Detective Kowalski. Looks like I'm late to the party. Mind filling me in? Kowalski, huh? Never heard of ya. What precinct? Who's your CEO? Exactly. Yeah, maybe you're right. Course I am. So what else you got? Hey, how about you do your shadowy skulky thingy? Maybe you can find some way to let me in from the inside. Shadowy skulky thingy. Jesus, kid. Childish phrasing aside, it's a good as an approach as any, I guess. Without another word, he gets out of the car and heads for a nearby back alley. You watch in silence as he disappears into the shadows. A minute passes, then another and another. You begin to worry. What if there were more cops inside? What if your multi-partner has gotten himself in trouble? Suddenly, a shadowy silhouette appears in one of the windows on the second floor. Looks like he made it after all. At least you hope it's him. The shadow waves at you and points to the corner of the building opposite the two cops. You get out of the car and quietly make your way towards the alley. Sure enough, you find that the fire escape ladder had been conveniently dropped for you. Good work, Dee, you mumble to yourself as you climb to the second floor. Finding the crime scene proves easy enough. You just follow the yellow police tape and before you know it, you're standing in the middle of what used to be someone's living room. The place has been completely trashed. Knocked over furniture, shattered glass, the works. Looking around, you notice a sign scribbled on a nearby wall. It reads, "His gift, our fate." You're no expert in typography, but the crooked letters look similar to the ones you saw back in Red Hook. Sure enough, there's very little in terms of blood, save for the occasional stain that's bound to end up on the carpet once you toss someone through a glass coffee table. The angel leans against the doorway. He seems lost in his thoughts, sucking on his cigar compulsively and mumbling to himself. You lean over a bit, trying not to make it obvious that you're listening in. You manage to catch the last few lines of his monologue. The night's been kind to them so far, but the questions kept piling on, and now they've found themselves amidst the wreckage of another life. It was up to them to sift through the debris and come up with a neat little pile of answers. Suddenly he tenses up, as if sensing your eyes upon him. Feel free to chip in, kid. Anything catch your eye? No blood, same as before. At least none spilled, so what does that tell us? That this was a feeding, that the killer is kindred, might be the one we're after. Might doesn't make it right. Let's not make assumptions until we see the body. Still, the pattern is consistent. God damn it, I hate where this is going. Why? The thin blood angle seems to check out. It looks like you were right. Yeah, well, this time I'd rather be wrong. Am I right? Anyway, looks like we're not getting any more out of this place. No way around it. We gotta see the body. In for a penny, in for a pound, might as well be prudent. My thoughts exactly. The Duskburn have it bad as it is. If I'm gonna accuse one of them of breaching the Masquerade, I want solid evidence. I want pictures of Spider-Man. And I mean, rock fucking solid. Luckily for us, I might know someone who could get us an audience with our dearly departed. To your surprise, he pulls out of a cell phone. A busted old clamshell. He flips it open. Oh my gosh, the opening phones. That's so old school. He flips it open and spends a good minute browsing through the contacts, muttering to himself. Finally, he makes a call. Hey, you know who this is? Yeah, that favor you owe me. Time to deliver. Listen, I know you got a fresh one. The murder is Bed-Stuy. I need to take a look. Yes, now. Yeah, you better. With that, he hangs up and gives you his trademark wry smile. Are cell phones forbidden? So, are we good? Yeah, we're good. Next stop, Kings County. Kings County, the bleeding heart of Brooklyn. It's beating as hard as ever, with ambulance. Oh goodness, that was someone who went over here. Will this happen again? I saw someone. walking, walking by. I suppose you know it's a busy street there. He did it again. I got a bit scared. I'll admit. It's beating as hard as ever, with ambulance after ambulance bringing in sick and wounded New Yorkers to be pumped through the tight arteries of the healthcare system. It's a dangerous place for a kindred to show their face. Incessantly crowded and full of people who specialize in noticing all sorts of physical afflictions, especially the sort that make up the very essence of a vampire's existence. For instance, death. Thankfully, your business here tonight keeps you away from the hectic human hive of the ER. Instead, you follow the angel to a relatively quiet part of the underground parking lot that's closest to your current point of interest, the Kings County Morgue. Having found yourself a convenient and suitably unlit spot near the hospital wall, you wait patiently for the angel's contact to appear. Every now and then you glance over at the undead gumshoe as if to make sure his moldy mug isn't showing any signs of worry. It isn't. Or at least he's very good at hiding it. Finally, after 30 minutes or so, a lone figure emerges from a side entrance. As the human-shaped shadow walks by, you're quick to recognize him as the AMT you saw back at the murder site. Clearly nervous, the 20-something-year-old redhead can't seem to help but look back and make sure no one is following him. Finally, he stops and lights up a cigarette. Without even looking in your direction, he makes a puff and exclaims, seemingly to no one in particular, "Room 112, you got 20 minutes. The angel speaks without looking at you. "That's our cue." You followed the fanged detective through the same door the AMT walked out. Luckily, his wing of the hospital seems unusually empty. Still, the confidence with which the angel makes his way through the white and green corridors makes it clear. He's been here before. Finally, he stops in front of one of the doors. Room 112. That's your stop. The room is small, with only one oversized freezer by the wall and a single slab mounted in its center. Sure enough, the body of a middle-aged man is splayed out on its steel surface. Even for a dead man, he seems unnaturally pale. Extreme blood loss will do that for you. Try as you might, you can't help but look at the man's face. His features twisted in abject horror. This was not a peaceful death. Oh goodness. So, from what I understood, vampires, draining blood, that's supposed to be pleasant. So, I wonder what happened to the old man, the middle-aged man. Looking closely, you notice two small puncture wounds on the victim's neck. If ever there was a clearer sign of a vampire attack, you've yet to see it. Looking over at the angel, you notice his lips moving in a familiar fashion. He's narrating again. Before he can utter an intelligible word, you cut in with a remark. Jesus, the look on his face. It's like nightmare fuel. No kidding, which means he was fully aware all the way through. He knew he was dying. Which, combined with the blood loss and the teeth marks on his neck, confirms our hypothesis. We have a serial thin blood on our hands. Fuck. As if on cue, the door swings open. A tired-looking man with a stethoscope around his neck walks in. With his eyes fixed on his clipboard, he doesn't appear to notice you. Yet. Let's feed. Letting your instincts take over, you pounce on the unsuspecting doctor, plunging your fangs into his aorta. The precious liquid tastes sickeningly sweet, making you feel a bit lightheaded. It appears the good doctor has been getting high on his own supply. It takes you a moment to get your fill, but when you've finally done, you immediately let D'Angelo's eyes upon you. You start coming up with an excuse, but he just smirks. You're a quick kid, I'll give you that. Beat me to it by a pube. Yes. Approved. No, come on, let's get out of here. Time to pay our dear Primogen another visit. Robert Larson's home looks about the same as last time. No added security, no angry dogs prowling the yard. I'm just thinking, how does it work with Finbloods? Because are they half and half in a way? Is it like oh my god, is it like, can they have children? Can they eat food? There's so much to learn about them. There's so much I have to learn about them. It appears that the Finblood Primogen would rather risk another visit from his old pal D'Angelo than to arouse suspicion of his family and neighbors. Okay. So I wonder how this time will lurk him out. Which is good, considering that's what he's about to get. Sure enough, the light in Larson's study is on, and you even catch a glimpse of the man himself shuffling around the room. You look over to D'Angelo, wondering how you're going to get Larson's attention this time. Without a single word, D'Angelo walks over to a nearby street lamp and leans against it, making sure he's visible to any and all who happen to look. Looks like time for subtlety is over. It takes a couple of minutes for Larson to take notice. You see him lean against the window and storm out of the room. In mere seconds, he's out in front and in D'Angelo's face. Listen to me, you moldy fuck. I've had just about enough of your shit. You wanna pester me? Fine, but leave my family out of it. For a moment, D'Angelo just stands there, motionless, allowing Larson to get his frustrations out. Suddenly, he grabs the Finblood by the collar, lifts him off the ground, and smashes his back against the lamppost. Are you finished? Alright, now you listen to me and listen good. You think I'm enjoying this? You think I like to be jerked around? You think I got nothing better to do than hang around this little puppet theater you've made for yourself? Now, either you give me a lead I can follow, or I'll start remembering things you'd rather forget. Now he sounds serious here. Good, good. Sometimes you have to be the good cop and sometimes the bad cop. For the first time since you met him, Larson looks speechless. His eyes wide with fear. He can only mutter under his breath. You wouldn't dare. Try me. Cue awkward silence. You stand there shifting your eyes from one vampire to the other. Guess it's time to either press the advantage or play the good cop. I think a good cop, but yeah, let's play the bad cop. I don't know. He's the good cop. Come on, Larson. Just give us something. It's been a rough night. See, Robert, my assistant here is tired of your shit too. So, what's it gonna be? If you want my help, put me the fuck down. With his feet back on the ground, Larson straightens his collar in a faint attempt at preserving some shred of dignity. There's a place in Manhattan, Lower East Side, one of the few places in the city where my people can find shelter. Yeah, I know it. If you go there right now, you might find what you're looking for. So he knows. Not good, not looking good. The angel stares at him for a moment, just long enough to make it uncomfortable. We'd better. Finally, the angel loses his grip. You both watch Larson limp back to his house, looking back over his shoulder like he's gonna tell the teacher on you. You look to your partner, meaning to ask what was the whole things you'd rather forget deal was. As if sensing your curiosity, the angel cuts in with preemptive mutter. Come on, we got what we came for. As you reach the address Larson gave you, you find yourself standing in front of what looks like an old garage. On the outside, the place looks like as interesting as it gets. You'd think it's abandoned, if not for the few barely working lights illuminating its shabby facade. Once you're inside, however, if ever there was a place worthy of being called a wretched hive of scum and villainy, this is probably it. The room is littered with drunks and crackheads, human and thin blood alike, their minds lost in their cruel little worlds, their bodies splayed out across the floor. I cannot imagine that. The angel leans over and whispers in your ear. I'll cover the back door, you stay near the front. Let's look around and see what we can find. Before you can ask what exactly you're supposed to be looking for, the angel disappears into the shadows. I might use my power. Focusing your senses, you plunge into the full spectrum of the room, hoping to hear someone or something worthy of attention. You will regret it almost instantly. The room becomes a deafening echo chamber, a sea of babbling lunatics, of muttered curses and drug-induced ramblings. Oh, that wasn't good. You're almost ready to give up when a faint whisper catches your attention. A female voice, soft and trembling. A gift. He speaks to us. The blood speaks. A few words are enough to tell you you've just hit the jackpot. You follow the voice to its source, a young woman hunched in the corner of the room. As you walk towards her, the angel emerges from the shadows right next to you. Nice catch. He kneels down beside her. You can tell he's trying to sound as comforting as possible, but with his gravely timbre, it's not really working out. Hey, it's okay. We're not here to hurt you. We just wanna talk. No, don't talk. Too loud, too loud. She seems halfway out of it. It's like the lights are on, but whoever's inside is stumbling around after one hell of a bender. Alright, you like quiet. Got it. Can you tell me your name? Sana. That's what he called me. Suddenly you hear the door swing open behind you. Even though the night is fairly warm, a cold chill runs down your spine. You look towards the entrance. There's a woman standing there, and something about her just screams kindred. Even though she seems comically overdressed for this situation, somehow you don't feel like cracking a smile. Whoever she is, you can tell she means business. So she is some serious trouble that just came in. She starts making her way to the back of the room, not making any effort to sidestep any of the junkies and drunks. They all know well enough to get out of her way. Acting out of bravery or sheer stupidity, you walk up to her. She looks at you as if you were something she just scrapped off her shoe. You smile nervously without even knowing it. Hey, what's a girl like you do in a place like this? As soon as you open your mouth, her hand shots out, grabbing you by the throat. Okay. The woman looks at you, tilting her head, as if examining a curious Hey, species of insect. Suddenly her eyes shift as she notices something behind you. Her face turns from disgust, curiosity to sheer annoyance. You. Hey Val, that's my assistant you got there. Do you mind? She rolls her eyes. You feel the grip on your neck loosen and you awkwardly fall to your feet. She makes her way towards D'Angelo, pushing you aside like a rag doll. Where is she? You're gonna have to be a bit more specific, darling. Don't play coy, Ginny. The manslayer. I know she's here. A blood hunt has begun. By order of the prince herself, the girl is to meet her final death. Blood hunt? Ooh. A punishment sentencing a vampire to final death as at the fangs of their peers. The code of the kindred and the system for punishing transgression is the law of retaliation. Okay, so she was sent by the prince to get the girl. See, the thing is, someone made that girl. Someone is pushing her to do those things. I think. Hold your horses, honey. I'm conducting an investigation under the auspices of the sheriff. That counts for something too. Look, sweetie, I'm not here for some clit measuring contest. You want this to get ugly? Be my guest. Otherwise, I suggest you step aside and let me do my job. By all means. He steps aside in a comically exaggerated fashion. You look at the corner where you last saw Sana, but find no trace of the girl. Well, I could swear she was here. Valerie looks at D'Angelo. She smiles softly, but you can tell she's trying very hard not to rip his head off. You will regret this. Story of my life. Without another word, she turns on her heels and storms out. D'Angelo waves his hand in your general direction. Come on, kid, let's get out of this shithole. As you emerge from said shithole, you feel the cool night breeze caress your face. It's soothing and almost makes you forget how shitty the last few hours have been. Almost. Okay, kid, I know you've got questions, but it's getting early and I don't feel like having a Q&A session right now. For now, you get one question. Make it count. Oh. Make it count. Who the hell is Valerie? Said she's sent for from the sheriff. I'm not really interested in Valerie that much. What do you do now? Do we know where the girl went? Yeah. It's still hard to believe that girl is our killer. Do you know where she ran off to? Not sure, but I might have some ideas. The important thing is, we know who we're looking for. Too bad Valerie knows it too. She's a scourge kid. Part enforcer, part assassin. All around pain in the ass. We'll be seeing more of her. You can bet on that. Scourge? That's a new one. I know there's a sheriff. But another enforcer? An executor subordinated directly to the prince. Okay. And before you ask, yes, we've run into each other in the past. No, I don't feel like talking about it. Alright, kid. I don't know about you, but I'm turning in. I'll figure some stuff out and keep looking for a girl. Feel free to swing by the office in a night or two. And with that, he stumbles off in the distance, not even bothering to keep to the shadows. Can't say you blame him. It really has been a rough night. Hey. It doesn't tell us to rest yet. But this guy is waiting, so we might as well. Yeah, let's go for it. That's part 1. Ooh. You haven't been to a church since you became a vampire, or kindred as the euphemism goes. You've had to focus on concrete, practical things like survival and feeding. You've learned the essentials of the vampire experience, but you don't really have a clear idea of what it means. The Cathedral of St. John the Divine is a New York landmark. You've been inside once before when you were much younger. You marveled at its Gothic facade. Looking at it from now, the street, it feels ominous. The prospect of an anonymous invitation to a secret meeting is a worrying one, but the venue is well chosen. It's hard to imagine a violent attack in a place like this, with eyes everywhere. You enter the cathedral discreetly. You've quickly learned this is an essential skill for a vampire. How to move without anyone noticing you. The full force of the cathedral architecture hits you as you walk between the pews. If the architect meant to create the feeling of being small in the face of God's glory, mission accomplished. Based on the note, you're assuming that whoever you're meeting is somewhere in the front. As you step closer to the high altar, it seems as if something is dragging at your feet, as if the stone beneath you resisted your movement. Okay. Um, Religion is superstition. Vampires are satanic creatures. Does God listen to you? Something is dragging at your feet. Let's be controversial. Religion is superstition. It must be your nerves. As you try to shake the feeling of crushing foreboding, it occurs to you that vampires are a superstition too. Well, who would have guessed that? Actually, that makes sense. Wanted to say logical, but I don't know. I suppose anything's possible. There's an old man sitting in the front. You see only the back of his head, bowed down in silent prayer. Your footsteps echo on the floor and he turns to look at you. You can't take your eyes off him. He's tall, dignified, white hair balding, a few strands escaping to the sides. He's wearing glasses and simple clerical clothing. His eyes are warm and pale, too kind for someone like you. Something's wrong. You feel heavy, as if a giant hand was pressing you down. The skin on your face is burning. Perhaps unconsciously you expected something like this, as a vampire walking into a cathedral. Only it's not the building or God making you feel like you're burning alive. Oh no, this sounds bad. It's the man, the priest. Welcome, my child. The priest's tone is kind, but the rising panic inside is telling you that kindness is not for the likes of you. Yeah, let's confront. The only way to understand these painful things is to push forward and confront the priest. As you step closer to the priest, panic rises inside you. The emotions are hard to control: fear, anger, pain, all trying to wrestle you in different directions, away. Can I help you? Are you okay? The priest talks to you like you would a lost vagrant who has chosen to enter the house of God. Why are you doing this? I'm afraid I don't understand. It's simply too much. You mutter something incoherent in reply. You don't sound like a vampire, an undead being made powerfully by immortal blood. You're just another sad, confused, lost soul. You turn around and stagger away, only feeling like yourself once you're back on the street outside. You stand on the sidewalk, confused and scared. No enemies seem to be attacking you. The priests didn't follow you. The night air is wet with the smells of a city, the same as every night. How did it feel? You look at the man speaking to you. He's well dressed, if a little archaic. Dark haired, handsome, like a character from an old movie. He smiles as if he knows something you don't. You glance around. There are people on the street. You don't appear to be in immediate danger. Why does it hurt so much? That's the question I wanted to talk to you about. Let me introduce myself. My name is Benoit Segel. We share many things in common, even if you don't know me. Benoit offers his hand to you. Benoit is a vampire, that much is clear. He's using his blood to stimulate the functions of a living body, but the rhythm of his heartbeat reveals its artificial nature. Would you mind sitting with me for a moment? Benoit points to a dark bench nearby. In the darkness, because of a broken streetlight, Barry, you decide to follow him. Only an enemy totally unconcerned with the masquerade would attack you there. Benoit sits down and you follow suit. For a moment, you both contemplate the cathedral in silence. I know how it feels, what you just felt. I have experienced it myself many times. For a moment, you consider how to respond. It's clear, Benoit. That's how I'm saying it. I don't care. Benoit. Benoit sent the invitation to come here and orchestrated this little setup. What's the point? Why did you get to the trouble of getting me here? We share a connection, you and I. I'll explain it later, but right now the important thing is that it's so much easier to show than tell. I wanted you to meet Father Anthony, or see him, experience him. Did you wonder why it felt like that? At first I thought it was because I was in church, but then I realized it came from him, the priest. I think you're right. It does come from him. It's his faith that makes you feel like that. He's safe in his belief while you are one of the damned. You ever wonder what's the role of a vampire in God's creation? You stop to think. Of course you've wondered what this is all about. Whether it's about God or nature, you don't really know what being a vampire means. It's we're getting to very important questions, I suppose. You know, the whole nature of vampires. You know, how does it look on the kind of spiritual plane, on the religious plane? That's the trouble with the Masquerade. A human faced with a human problem can go online and find something that helps. You can't. The Masquerade means that everything there is to know about your condition is secret, hidden away. You're left relying on the unreliable opinions of people like Benoit. Suddenly Benoit takes your hand and presses it against his chest. Okay, bro. As he stares into your eyes, you feel his heart stop. My heart no longer beats, yet I move, I talk. Is that how God intended us to be? Is he like a kin killer by any chance? Because it does get there. There's a natural expression, I don't know. Is there a natural explanation? Yeah, well, I don't believe in this supernatural. There's a natural explanation for all of this. We just don't know it. Maybe there is. I don't know either. I know that Father Anthony's faith is real. Sometimes I'm skeptical too. But in Father Anthony's presence, I know faith is real. I know it because it hurts so much. But perhaps you have questions about faith and our kind. Interesting. How do you know any of these stories are true? I don't. How could I know? This is what faith is. You have to believe something, good and evil, right and wrong, love and hate. I believe we are damned. I also believe that there is always hope, grace. Father Anthony's faith shows me the way. It's so easy for us to lose ourselves in the morass of occult speculation. Some of our kind to revere Cain, others Lilith. I know who Cain is. Many in the Camarilla place their faith in the invisible guidance of the Methuselahs who are supposed to watch over us. Okay, that's a vampire who has existed for a millennium or more. An elder who no longer participates in kindred society. Methuselahs are rumored to hail from the 4th and 5th generations. Yet I wonder how much that really matters when compared to the character of a good man. Did you have anything else, or did I come here just to talk about religion? I know it's overwhelming. It was for me when I first met Father Anthony. I know there are others like him, whose faith shines like a beacon. Priests, old ladies, children. Anyone can have that conviction inside them. This is too much. You expect me to go along with this insanity. I know it nods patiently. Let's meet again in a few nights here at the cathedral. We can talk more after you've thought it through. We leave Benoit sitting in the shadow of the cathedral, contemplating what lies within. It would be easier to ignore his words without the reality of what you experienced. Father Anthony was holy. We know it to be true, but what does that mean? Okay, it's time to rest. So, yeah, I think I don't know how many tasks with D'Angelo. Well, we still have to catch that person. But yeah, would be nice to start someone else's quest and just maybe follow them interchangeably. Or is it? I'm not too sure if we can choose only 2 of the 4, or is it just one? Or is it the 4? Is it possible to do all 4? But then again, we need to rest. And that guy at the cathedral, that was so bizarre. But then again, I think I understand, because a lot of it is, oh, don't just follow the rules, you know, masquerade, feed, etc. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's very human, but the vampires also, I suppose, want to know what does it all mean. You know, the unlife. Is there any point to them? Are they damned, or can they be still saved? Is this a curse? You know, just to figure themselves out. I suppose. I think there was a mention when we played previously about some philosophical vampires, I guess. Maybe I'm just not remembering things correctly in that regard. So yeah, I know I usually try to get to at least an hour and a half mark. It just seems that on Thursdays, that's you know, just, you know, it's been such a long week. Okay, granted, yes, Monday was off, but it's still a Monday. So I don't know. It just seems I run out of steam on Thursdays a bit earlier, or maybe I just can't wait for the clock to turn around and there we are. It's Friday. But yeah, definitely enjoying the game. So don't want it to end too soon. I want to continue bit by bit, even. Um, yeah, and so that's it for today, I suppose. I'll be back on Tuesday, I promise, and we'll continue with Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York. But yeah, so I'll save now. Yeah, if we want to do a longer stream, then I don't know. It seems that Tuesdays would be much better for that. So, anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope you are having a nice Halloween, uh, whatever time it is at your time zone, I suppose. So, thank you very much for joining me. Have a good night, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Thank you. Bye bye.